Today I am going to walk you through some of the most popular and most requested device combinations. The question that I get all the time is, well, how do I put X, Y, and Z together in a routine? So today I'm going to answer that for some of the most common combinations, but then I am going to direct you to a resource on my blog that I have created for you that will be really, really helpful in letting you know what device addresses what gripe. And then it will also let you know which devices play well together. This is something that you can access for free. You can download this chart and you can use it to your heart's content so that anytime you want to address some skincare concern, you're not sure where you fit these devices that you've picked up, how you fit them into your routine, these charts will help you immensely. Okay, so let's start out with some combinations that I know people, are always asking about. Number one would be microcurrent and RF. Radio frequency is a modality that uses energy, and when that energy is put into your skin, the resistance of your skin causes heat. That heat essentially causes collagen formation. And the reason for that is that there's a perceived injury. The heat affecting the skin is perceived as an injury. And just like with everything else, that perceived injury is met with collagen formation. More collagen in your skin means you're going to get firmer skin, you're going to get tighter skin, etc. So radio frequency is all about firming, tightening, and collagen induction, okay? Microcurrent, on the other hand, is about stimulating something called ATP, which is a cellular energy, and that is going to help with collagen formation also, but it's also going to help with lift. So how do you put microcurrent and radio frequency together? The way that I put them together is that I use my radio frequency first. So I do my radio frequency treatment first, and then I follow that up with a microcurrent treatment. The reason why I do that is twofold. Number one, the radio frequency heats up the muscles. The muscles are more receptive for treatment of microcurrent. And then the microcurrent treatment following that up can still use the same conductivity gel, and we get that lift and that toning, and then we leave it and we are good. So you always want to finish with microcurrent. Whenever you're using microcurrent in any of your treatments, I prefer to finish with microcurrent. It's the last modality that I do anytime I'm combining. Let's say you wanted to add in LED. The way that I would do it is I would do my LED session first, especially if I'm going to do it on bare skin, because I can wash my face and do my LED session. Recently, I have actually been doing my LED session with copper peptides or with my Sama, which is green rooibos, and I've been really, really enjoying that. Now, as long as you're using a water-based serum to do your LED session, so let's say I used my copper peptides, I do my LED treatment, then I can go straight from that into my radio frequency treatment, that's next, and then I finish up with my microcurrent treatment. So that is the way that I would combine three modalities together for a really amazing treatment. Okay, so let's look at this chart together, and I'm going to show you how to read it to get the most out of it. So when you're looking at it, you look across the top pink bar. That is all of the gripes that I could come up with, and you want to assess what are your most important things that you want to treat on your skin. Now, it's really, really important that you prioritize a couple things. So 1, 2, 3 things at the most. Decide the modalities, decide your treatment plan, and then consistently stick with it for 2 to 3 months. It is totally okay if you have a few devices that don't get touched for 2 or 3 months. I certainly do. I haven't touched my IPL since last year because I know when I pick it up, I need to devote at least 8 weeks of use, and I need to be consistent with it in order to see any kind of results. But I still own it, and I still like it, and I still know that I will pull it out when I'm ready to commit to that 2 months. So that's super duper important. Make a plan and stick with it for enough time to actually see some results. Okay, so looking at this chart, we look across this pink line, and let's just pick one and we'll go through it together. So let's say I wanted to do sagging jawline. That seems to be one that is super popular in my Facebook group, and sagging skin is a thing for sure. So when I look down the chart, I can see that wherever there are check marks, that means that the modality that the check mark coincides with is a modality that will address that gripe. The more check marks that there are, the better that particular modality is for that gripe. Okay, so we can see that for sagging jawline, radiofrequency gets 2 checks. That means that it's pretty good for sagging skin. It's always important to remember though that sagging as we get older is not just about our skin. It's also about our fat pads, it's about bone loss, it's about our muscles. And so you have to have reasonable expectations. All of the things that we're talking about primarily are going to affect our skin and collagen. Of course, microcurrent can help with muscle, but really most of the stuff that we're doing at home is working on our skin, and that can only take us so far. So reasonable expectations are super important. So looking back at the chart, you can see that radiofrequency has 2 check marks, and beneath it, microcurrent also has 2 check marks, and further down, microneedling has a check mark. So you can see by looking at this chart that those are the 3 modalities that I would say are worth your time and attention if you are concerned with sagging skin. Okay, so then how do we incorporate those 3 modalities? Technically, microneedling is on an island of its own other than being combined with LED. So if you're like me and you like to do monthly microneedling sessions or maybe every 6 weeks, it's okay to be in another routine for 3 months, like your microcurrent and your radiofrequency. If you are consistently doing, let's say 4 days a week, microcurrent and radiofrequency together, so radiofrequency first, followed up by microcurrent, every 5 to 6 weeks, you can do a medical microneedling session, and all you would do is on the day of your microneedling session, you would do your microcurrent and your radiofrequency treatment, cleanse your skin, and go on with your medical microneedling treatment. Then you're going to want to wait a week or so before you resume your radiofrequency and your microcurrent. Then you just go on with your treatment plan with those 2 modalities. That's how I would fit all 3 of those in. Notice that I'm not actually combining the microneedling with radiofrequency and with microcurrent, but it's in along the way. Now, another thing that I want you to notice from the chart and just in general is that LED plays well with everything. So anytime you would like to add in LED, feel free. It is only going to benefit you. The results that I've seen in my Facebook group from just people who I do not know that I feel like I know now that have shared their own before and afters with their neck it is insane. And these are just real people sharing, committing to a certain amount of time of doing LED treatments and then sharing their results in the group. And it reinforces everything that I already believe. So that same exact treatment plan that we just talked about, now we want to add in LED. How do we combine LED, microcurrent, radiofrequency, and microneedling? Here's what you would do. You'd start with your LED treatment, and you can do this on bare skin or with your copper peptides or your Mesama. You would go on and do your radiofrequency treatment right after your LED treatment. And then right after that, you would go on and do your microcurrent treatment. That would be your game plan, say 4 days a week for 3 months. You would simply add in, like we just talked about every 5 weeks or so, a medical microneedling treatment followed by LED. And then you would wait a week and resume your LED microcurrent radiofrequency system plan for the rest of the 3 months, only stopping every 5 weeks to do your medical microneedling and taking a break for a week for your skin to heal. That is how I would incorporate all 4 of the best modalities for treating sagging skin. Now, when you look at the blog, there is another chart that will be super helpful. It's called Combining at-Home Devices. Now, once you've looked at the gripes and maybe you have 2 or 3 gripes that you're wanting to address, it's really important to go look at this other chart, because this other chart is going to tell you which devices play well together and more importantly, which devices don't play well together. Really, it comes down to alternating, picking and choosing, sometimes setting something aside. And it isn't that they are going to necessarily hurt your skin or do anything like that, but they aren't going to help you and they aren't going to complement each other well. Now, let me know in the comments if there are other protocols that I don't have listed that you might be interested in learning about, and I will do my best to add them to this blog over the next month or two so that this is a one-stop shop for, resources, for protocols, for combining devices, all that stuff. I really, really want it to be there for you so that you can make the most out of all of these things that we have picked up and we need to be using, even if we have to use them, periodically throughout the year. Just remember, it is totally okay not to use every single thing that you own all at once. It's probably pretty important that you don't. I hope that this video was helpful, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.